Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today I have my ultimate drugstore makeup guide. I actually was looking back at my channel last night and I was like, when was the last time I did like an ultimate drugstore favorites video? And it was over a year ago that I know of, that I found. I did one 2 years ago and then I had one last year, but it was like over a year ago, and I'm like looking at the product list and I was like, there's a bunch of those that I still love, but a lot of those I don't have in my collection anymore, and I have a lot of new products since then. So, I mean, a lot of these products you guys have heard me talk about here and there on my channel. Some of them I use on an everyday basis and so on and so forth, but I thought I would put together a collective video. Now, obviously, I haven't tried every single product from the drugstore, but of the ones I've tried, these are the ones that stay tried and true in my collection. I can link down below my makeup collection declutter that I did a few months ago, which I definitely have more products, have gotten a few new products since then, and some of them, a couple of them will be mentioned today. But you can see in that video, I don't have a huge collection, and if I'm not using or loving that product, I get rid of it. So clearly, these products would be my tried and true that I've had in my collection for quite a while, and I just have not gotten rid of because I do enjoy them. So I don't have a product for like every single category, so I don't have like a liquid eyeliner because I don't have a favorite, and I also don't wear liquid eyeliner on an everyday basis, or like very often, and if I do, it's just one that I have that I don't really, can't say that I love it, you know? So, and I don't have a lot, like some categories I have a couple, some I only have one to mention, so I didn't want to force myself to mention something if I didn't enjoy it. So, let me know if you would like me to do an updated favorite high-end makeup. I don't have a lot of high-end makeup. I do have a lot more drugstore, but if you would like to see that, I can definitely do that. Just let me know down in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited about hearing my ultimate drugstore makeup guide, and without further ado, let's just get into the video. So I'm just going to go in the order of my face because that's how I always do it. So we're going to start off with primer. And the primers, I have two to mention today. I have a dewy one, which is the Wet n Wild Dewy Primer. I have cut mine because I am literally scraping out every last bit of it. I have used this thing to the end, and I love this. I know there are so many dewy primers at the drugstore. There's the Physicians Formula one. There's the Milani has one. I mean, like every brand I feel like has one. But this one is $4.99, and I absolutely love this because it's inexpensive and it gives you the most beautiful illumination on your skin to put under foundation. I have missed this. I need to go out and purchase it. It's really not expensive. It's $4.99, I think. And that is kind of why I feel comfortable mentioning this one too, is like, I don't feel the need to go out and buy the Physicians Formula one that's like $12, $14, because this one's $4.99 and it does the exact same thing. I love the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, but this one is like 1/10 of the price, honestly. I mean, I think that this does just the same. I did do a video comparing this one to the Becca Backlight like over a year ago. I can link that down below if you would like to watch it, but I absolutely love this primer, will repurchase it, and I have used it up. You guys have seen me use it in multiple videos. It's always in my everyday makeup drawers videos, and I like this a lot. Now, if you want a pore filling primer, I would suggest the L'Oreal Magic Perfecting Base. I've talked about this quite a bit on my channel, especially since last fall when I first picked this up. It is just kind of like a creamy, I don't even know how to describe it, texture, but it is smoothing. It fills in your pores. I've been trying out the e.l.f. Moisture Lock Primer, which I do like, but I didn't feel comfortable mentioning it because I just got it like a week ago and I've only used it a few times. But I have been enjoying it, and I think that one does hold my makeup in place really well. But I haven't been using this on my pores on my nose, and I just feel like the makeup sometimes wants to collect a little bit around my pores when I'm not using this, because like today I've noticed a little bit here is collecting, but I don't have this on my face. So I think this is a great job of smoothing your pores and just making everything look nice and even. If you have oily skin, I think you would like this, especially for your T-zone. I have normal to dry skin. I should probably let you know that. It's pretty normal right now because it's not winter time, but in the winter it is pretty dry. I obviously stick to more of the dewy and illuminating primers, but when I want some pore filling on my nose, I go for this one. I absolutely love it. There's like a bunch of primers that I do like from the drugstore, but these are the two that I want to mention for sure. The NYX Hydro Touch I do like as well for more hydrating, but I feel like the Wet n Wild one stands out more to me, so that's why I wanted to mention that one. I only have two foundations to mention. One of them is going to be No Shock. The other one, you guys are going to be a little bit kind of surprised because I haven't mentioned it, but that's because the shade is too dark for me, and now that I'm tan, I'm wearing it today, and I just love it. It impresses me every time I use it, and I need to get lighter shades for when I'm in the winter time. But the one that I'm going to tackle right now that's obvious is the Physicians Formula, the Healthy Foundation. This one's almost gone. I literally feel like I'm like scraping it out, so I need to repurchase it. I have the shade LW2. It's a little warm for me. I think I'll go with LN3 for my more winter shade next time, just because I need a more neutral shade. But I love this. It just makes your skin look flawless. It doesn't feel like you're wearing makeup. I wear this on an everyday basis. I'll wear it to school. I'm not a big like makeup person when I go to school. Usually I wear foundation some days, concealer, a little powder, a little highlighter, brows, and mascara. Nothing crazy. It looks pretty natural. And if I wear foundation, usually this is the one I go for, unless I'm trying out other ones, but this is usually always, I cannot think of a time that this has not been in my everyday makeup drawer. One of you go find a video of my everyday makeup drawer series and find a video and let me know if this is not mentioned in it, because it 100% I think always is. I love it. I mean, it has a doe foot applicator. That doesn't bother me. It has kind of like a florally scent to it, but at this point it's kind of like that scent, just like if I were to smell this in like 10 years, it would just bring me back to these days, you know? So I don't mind it. I mean, it doesn't bother me that much. This has an SPF of 20. You definitely can't smell it after it's on your face. It's a glass packaging. It is a little more expensive for the drugstore, but I've had this for well over a year and I use it often. Like, I would say at least 3 times a week. This lasts me over a year and I'm just now having to repurchase it, but I do really enjoy it. It gives me like a medium coverage, dewy, healthy, not dewy, but more natural, healthy look to the skin. It's called the Healthy Foundation. Has SPF 20 in it. Can't remember if I said that. And I love this. The other one that I have to mention is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation. This has SPF 15. I have the shade Nude Beige, which is matching me right now because I have self-tanner on, but if I don't have self-tanner on, I am pasty white. So I don't even know what my shade would be in this with the lighter. I have tried the original Wet n Wild foundation. I just don't like it for my skin. I think it's too much for my skin. But this one creates it's like a light medium coverage. It's kind of illuminating, but more of a natural finish to your skin. It just makes your skin look like, I don't know, I was applying it today with a brush and then I pounced a sponge over top and I was just like, this just looks pretty. And isn't that kind of what most people want for an everyday person that's going to work or going to school? Like, you kind of just want a foundation to look like your skin and look pretty, and that's what this does. It just looks so pretty. It's a cushion foundation, if I didn't make that clear, so it's easy. You could take it on the go. I mean, it does come with one of these sponge like things. I don't even think I've used this. I just don't really like that. I just like to use my sponge or a brush, but I do love this foundation, and I don't talk about it very often. It should have been in my underrated drugstore video because I hardly talk about this, but I do love it. I'm the only person that always has a spoon in my coffee. I love this, and I think this is a great foundation. I am running low. I need to repurchase, and this is a little more inexpensive option. I know I have so many drugstore foundations in my collection, and I thought, well, I could mention this one for this type, and this one for this type, skin type, and this one for... And then I kind of thought, like, I don't want to be mentioning 25 different drugstore foundations because that would just be overwhelming. And I can do a drugstore foundation breakdown video if you would like to see that. I know I've done drugstore foundation videos in the past, like my top for this time of the year, but those two are my favorites, and this video is about my favorites. And I think, honestly, either of those would probably work for any skin type. I think the Physicians Formula one would probably work for either skin type more than the Wet n Wild. Neither of them are super full coverage, but they are medium. You can build it up to a medium. For sure, this one can be built up to a medium. And I think, I mean, they're just my favorites. I don't have oily skin, and I don't like super heavy foundations, so I don't want to mention ones just to mention them. So that's why I'm only mentioning these two. I have talked about a bunch of different foundations on my channel before, but I can do a drugstore foundation breakdown video if you would like me to do that. Or of any, like a drugstore concealer breakdown video, anything. So if you have a request, just let me know down in the comments. Okay, let's move on to concealer. This video is already getting too long and I'm hardly moving. I have 2 different concealers. You could probably guess which ones I'm going to mention. The Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. This is a great concealer that has a lot of pigment, but it is thinner. It's not too heavy or cakey, and it's hydrating. So if you have kind of drier under eyes and you don't like the super cakey, full coverage, thick concealer, but you want coverage, you would really like this. I love this for an everyday basis. I use it all the time, and I have a bunch of different shades. There's light natural, porcelain, I've had light beige before. I've gone through like a million of these, and it's $5.99. It's a really inexpensive concealer. I know there's times where it's like, I want to try this new concealer, but it's like concealers are getting like $10, $12, and I'm like, why would I spend that much on a concealer when I love my $5 Catrice one? So yeah, I really like this one. I've talked about it multiple times on my channel, so if you're not new, you would know. You would know. And then they also expanded this shade range very recently on that product, so that's amazing. And then also the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. This would be more for you if you like more coverage. This is going to be a little thicker. It's going to be a little thicker, a little more full coverage, kind of like Tarte Shape Tape, but not really. It's definitely more hydrating. I have tried thicker concealers that's more full coverage from the drugstore that is similar to this, but this one definitely is more hydrating out of all of them. This is not like necessarily a hydrating concealer though, by all means. If you want a more hydrating one, the Catrice one would be your option. But if you like this one, but you don't necessarily need more hydration, but you want just maybe a little more coverage, or it's just going to be like a little bit, I don't want to say thicker because it's not like it's like cakey anyway, because I'm wearing it today and I love it, and I have normal to dry skin, and I have had more drier under eyes, and I really enjoy this. So I would say like if you just want a little amped up more coverage and just a little bit, it's thicker but it's not cakier, try this one, the Catrice, or the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. They're both called Camo, which is kind of funny. This one I have in medium peach. There is a bunch of shades. I normally am not a medium skin tone, and medium peach is very light still. And yeah, so I really like this concealer. If you are looking for one that's kind of like a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape and it's less drying, try this one. Powder. So I do not have a compact setting powder for all over my face to mention, and that is just because I like my Maybelline Superstay Better Skin powder, and they reformulated it. I have not tried the new formula, and I'm not going to mention the old one if the new one's not the same and I haven't tried it yet, so that makes sense. So I have a loose powder that I like that has kind of been my tried and true for a few years, and then I have an under eye setting one. Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. I love this stuff. If I need a loose setting powder for like setting under my eyes, this is great. This blurs. I have the translucent one. This is like $5, $6, $7 too. You can get it at CVS, I believe, and oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've had this forever. I mean, I don't reach for it as often, but I actually pulled it out a couple days ago, and I actually am today, and I was like, I just love this stuff. It has to go with a good concealer though, because this with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer breaks apart like crazy. But this, like with the e.l.f. one, with the Catrice one that I mentioned today, works beautifully. So I really do like this. I think this is a very nice, it's not too thick either. It's like a finely milled loose powder, but it adds some coverage, and it just is beautiful, and it doesn't make my under eyes look too crepey because, again, I tend to have more dry skin, and I think it looks beautiful. My friend Emma has like perfect skin, and whenever she uses this, it looks poreless on her skin, but I don't have perfect skin, and when I use it, it still looks great, especially with the right combinations. So this is definitely my favorite loose powder from the drugstore. I know that you can find this only at specific stores like CVS or Walgreens, but if you find it, pick it up. It's amazing. I don't like the Maybelline Fit Me loose powder that everybody likes. I think it's too drying under my eyes, but I love this one. For under my eyes, also just kind of an honorable mention because I do really like this, the Essence Brighten Up powder. This is the banana one. This one is really inexpensive. I love it from Essence. It's nice and brightening. I have it on today as well. I put both on and my under eyes look not that powdery, and yes, I think this is a very nice powder. So if you're looking for a brightening powder, or even I could just use this in my T-zone, this is a great powder. It's not got coverage, but it's like very finely milled, but it's very brightening, and I love it. Don't you love the lipstick swatches on my hand? So yeah, I have tried multiple powders in the past, but these are my recent favorites for an ultimate guide. I will link down below my other videos that I have done for the Ultimate Drugstore Guide if you would like more recommendations. Okay, let's move to bronzer. So I have two bronzers. The Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Mine is full on falling apart broken. I have used this to the max. I'm waiting for a buy one get one 50 on Physicians Formula on Ulta.com, so I can buy both of these at the same time. This bronzer is beautiful. If you just want a light bronze that's effortless, well, not even light, you could get, there's a bunch of different shades now in this one. I have light bronzer. I think I'm gonna purchase bronzer. Smells amazing, and I miss this. I haven't used this bronzer in a hot minute just because it's like broken and everything, but I miss this bronzer. It's so pretty and nice and easy. It's great for beginners. It is a little more expensive. I consider it more expensive because it's like $12, $13, but it is worth every penny, and it has lasted me a long time to shreds, and I still use it sometimes. So I love this stuff, and it is amazing. If you want one that's just slightly cheaper, I love this Milani Silky Matte Bronzer. This one is a more matte finish. This one it's not like illuminating or shimmery, but it has like a more radiant, more natural finish, I would say. This pigment is a lot lighter, so you can't really overdo it with this one. This one is super pigmented, so you do have to be a little careful, but I like this for a bronzer and contour. It's beautiful. I love the shade. There's only a couple shades in these. That's the only problem. I have the second darkest one, so Sunkissed, but I love this. This one smells like the butter bronzer, but just a little more laid back. And yeah, this one is a couple dollars cheaper, so if you're looking, maybe this one has a different shade, maybe you do want a little more pigment, but this would even work for more contour, whereas I think the butter bronzers tend to be a little more warm tone, but yeah, I like the Milani one as well. The thing is, I'm not huge into blush, but I also am not like, I have been getting into it more lately, and I do have my favorites. Like I have like 5 blushes from the drugstore in my collection, and I love every single one of them. I'm just gonna give you a couple options. First one is the LA Girl Just Blushing Blush. This is in Just Playful. You get so much. It is very pigmented, so you do have to be careful. You kind of have to have a light hand with it, but this is beautiful. This is like $5. Can you guys notice a trend? I love it when products like these are like $5. Like that is drugstore price for me. I want to be able to go out and spend $5 on a blush and have it be amazing, and you totally can. So this is probably my favorite blush formula from the drugstore, just because it's just foolproof, I feel like. I mean, it is a little bit, I just hit myself in the face. It is a little bit pigmented, but I do really like it. I'm going to mention one more that I have really been loving lately, and this is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Ombre Blush. And the reason why I've been loving this is that I literally apply it, like hit my brush like this specifically, and then I put it on specifically in that region, so it's like a blush and almost highlighter on the top, and just like applying it, it gives a beautiful sheen, great for every day. This is like $4.99 as well. So if you find a color, I know these ombre blushes, there's only a couple options, and I know the Just Blushing blushes have a lot. So if you kind of want that blush highlight in one, these would be great, but if you want just a full-on blush, these are great as well. Now, I do like my Flower Beauty blush, which I'll just mention for the sake of this video, Flower Pot blush. But these are like $9.99, and the LA Girl ones are like $5. So that's kind of my point too, is like, I do love a lot of stuff, but I want to mention the more inexpensive ones if there's even, but they're just as great. So I do like those. I do like the Milani ones. I had to get rid of mine because it got old it got old before I used it up, and it is a really pretty blush as well. Now, highlighter. This was another tricky thing, because usually a highlighter that I use on an everyday basis is my Smashbox one, because it's intense but not. Like, it's a natural finish. It doesn't emphasize texture, but it does give you a highlight. I really like this Catrice one from the drugstore. This one is more of a natural finish. This one's an even more natural finish. So if you don't really want to sheen very much at all, then I would say, well, this one gives you a sheen, but it's not going to give you like intense shimmer. It's going to give you like a highlighting, just pretty look. This is the highlighting powder in Champagne Campaign, and I really like this. The only problem is these are not being sold at Ulta or Catrice's website. You can only find this on Amazon now, and I think they're discontinuing it. So if you want it, you got to get it now. And it is really pretty. I do like to honestly use this all over my face just as a highlighting powder, and I think it works really beautifully. It's not going to give you much of a sheen. And so this is the problem, is if you want like a natural highlight, but you don't want one to be super intense, but you want a little more than this, you can build this up. I have one that's on an everyday basis as a highlighter, and I do like it. I don't have one that's kind of an in-between. I know a lot of people like the Essence one. I really don't love it, and I'm not going to mention it if I really don't love it. I do have two more intense highlighters to mention if you're looking for that, the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe Highlighting Palette. This is a beautiful palette if you want more of intense. You do get 3 different shades, which is nice. It is like $12, $13, $12.99, something like that. But you do have a champagne, a pink, and a gold shade. You can make this not intense if you have a light hand, but this is more of an intense highlighter if you want that. Also, if you're looking for a loose intense highlighter, the Wet n Wild loose highlighters are beautiful as well. These are just amazing if you want that wet look on your skin. I do really like these. This one's in the shade You Glow Girl, which is more pink. They have a gold, they have lighter, darker shades. They have a few options with that too. So that's what I would say. If you want more of intense, go with these. And if you want more of a lighter sheen, go with this one. But this one is selling out, so I was kind of hesitant to recommend it. But I just looked and you can still get it now on Amazon. So definitely go get it while you can. This video is intense. You're gonna want to get another meal because we still are like probably like halfway through. Brows are tricky for me because I am not that picky with my brow products. There's still ones that I haven't tried yet from the drugstore that I do want to get my hands on, like the LA Girl one, the really skinny tip that's like $2.99. I've heard that one's amazing. I have talked about the L'Oreal brow products for the longest time and I do really like them. This is the Shape and Fill. I'm like all out of this one. This one is a little more expensive. This is like $9.99. Not that expensive, but it is a little bit more than some of the other ones. I do like this one, which is the Shape and Fill. I do like the Brow Stylist Definer, which is a more skinny tip. Either way, these do fill in your brows very nicely. They are a little bit, not too creamy. They're more waxy than creamy, but I think that they fill your brows in very nicely, and I do enjoy this product a lot, and it's easy to work with. Now, if you want a more cheaper version, the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil is very nice. This one is $5. It's a really precise pencil. I do like this one as well. I don't like the shade as much for me. I have these two mixed in my brows today. This one's the Maybelline Total Temptation. This one is good if you don't have to fill in necessarily on your skin. I don't think it really sticks to your skin very well, but if you have fuller brows, kind of like I do, and you don't have a whole lot to fill in and like reshape, then I think you would like this. This one is a little more inexpensive too, like $5 or $6, so like $5.99, $6. So this one is a little cheaper if you're looking for that. The Maybelline one has a little bit more of an angled tip. Now, if you want a skinnier tip, go with this e.l.f. one. e.l.f. also makes one in white packaging that I do like that's a little more rounded. My camera overheated on me, but I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, e.l.f. does have that white, they're white, it's like $2. It's a little bit more of a rounded tip, but it's bigger than the Ultra Precise one. Brow pencil, that one's good too. I don't think you can get as precise with that one. So there is a bunch of options from the drugstore. I'm not picky with my brow pencils necessarily, but I would say my favorite is probably the L'Oreal ones because those have just been my tried and true that I have used for years. So for priming my eyes, you guys are gonna know the CoverGirl Lid Lockup Eyeshadow Primer. This one's this one is great for gripping your eyeshadow. I think it does a great job of holding it in place. Sorry, I just hit the camera. It's kind of more tacky, but if you set it with my Wet n Wild Single Shadow in Brûlée that I love, that's like literally $1, this combination is great. If you want more of it, you have a more intense eye look and you want a little bit more pigment, don't set it and then just go right in. I just think it's a little harder to blend sometimes. If I'm not doing a natural look, then I'll do that. But either way, I love this eyeshadow primer. It's like $7 and it is amazing. I like it more than the Urban Decay one, and it's even, I feel like it's just easier to apply. I don't know. And yes, this Wet n Wild Single Shadow, which is a cream shade, I absolutely love to set my lid because a lot of palettes these days do not come with a matte cream shade. I don't know why, but I need that and that is amazing. Let's do a couple cream shadows first. This one is from JCat. You can find this on Ulta.com. I don't know if they have it in store at Ulta, so I don't know where else you can find this, but just because of the price I want to mention it. This is their Prismetal Chrome Mousse eyeshadow. If you are looking for a shimmery reflectant eyeshadow that is a cream, this is amazing and it's like $5 and I absolutely love it. I have a bunch of high-end cream shadows. I have the Butter London cream ones. I have Huda Beauty, but I like this one even better. This is kind of like the Stila ones, except for these, Stila has more glitter chunks in them, but this one is so beautiful. I've raved about it on my channel before. It gives you a sheen, a reflection, and I love it so much. It is so pretty. and you can sheer it out a little bit, you can build it up. I mean, it is just beautiful. I love these. There's a bunch of different shades you can get, and they do have a little bit of glitter and shimmer, but I don't notice it falling over my face like my eyeshadow is today, but I do love these. Also, the Essence Metal Shock. The Essence has come out with more single shadows that are creams, like kind of like this almost, but they just look like eyeshadows, but they're like metallic and foiled. I have not tried those. I've heard I think they're inexpensive too, but I've heard they're amazing. So I noticed that this isn't on Ulta anymore, .com, like they're like going on sale and there's not many shades, but this is at CVS. So if you're looking for like a cream shadow and like a doe foot applicator, like this is beautiful. This one is in the shade Solar Explosion. I have this in the shade Chrome Galaxy. It's a little thinner, but like totally is like really intense on the eye. Like I love it every time. You can build it up and I love it. Now I'd have to say my favorite single shadows from the drugstore are still the L'Oreal Infallible Single Shadows. I have been talking about these for years. They are reflectant, they are beautiful, they are intense. I like shimmers that are going to give you pigment and look really pretty. That's just my look. They are beautiful. I absolutely love them, and I think that they just look amazing on the eye. And they are like $7-ish, so they're not too expensive. And if you find a color you like, definitely get them. They're very reflected and pretty. This is called a brow highlight. This is from Wet n Wild, the Ultimate Brow Highlighter. But this is great for in the inner waterline of your eye. If you need a brightening eye pencil, this is like a more pink shade, but this is beautiful. All you have to do is stick it in the waterline. It'll make your eyes pop, brighten, and look more awake. So if you're needing that, dark black liner definitely like makes your eyes closed off, but this definitely brightens and just opens your eyes up. I'd have to say, if you just want little quads that are easy to travel with, the LA Girl Eyelux Mesmerizing Quads. This one's an Urbanize. They have a bunch of these. This one's an all matte, but they have matte and shimmer. They have one just like this that has a couple of shimmer shades instead of the mattes. This is beautiful. I love it. It's pigmented. It's easy to travel with. Like I say, I would take this and just one of these. Perfect. I don't even need a palette. Small. I mean, it's kind of compact and good packaging, and it's only like $5, so I do really like these. Colourpop, you can get at Ulta or online, but I really do like Colourpop's formula. I am impressed. They have a bunch of palettes. They're super thin. They're easy to travel with. They're not too expensive. I think these are like $9.99, so they're not terrible. And they have a bunch of options from Variety. This one's a double Entendre, and I love this. And I always forget about this palette, and every time I reach for it, I'm like, why don't I ever use this? Like, look at these shimmer shades. Like, why don't I ever reach for this palette anymore as much? I love it. And then the last brand that I'm very impressed with is Profusion, and that is because their palettes are so inexpensive for what you get. So this is $4.99. This is a Royals. This is more like pops of color. They have a mattes, they have an all shimmers, they have a natural. They have so many options for just this type of palette, and it's for $4.99. That's amazing. Not even for the price, it's just amazing in general. And I really like their formula. Some of the shadows, can they be hit and miss? Yeah, a couple of them can be. Overall, they are very good palettes. I do have the Wanderlust and the Sienna's palette as well. I do really like this. I got rid of the Pro Pigment one just because I wasn't using it. And the shades, that one had a few more misses in it. But overall, this palette is beautiful if you're looking for more warm tones. Some of the shimmers, honestly, if you wet a shimmer, it's gonna do the job. Same with this Wanderlust. This palette is beautiful. I have this one on my eye today, Serious, in like the outer portion of my eye, and it is not the most pigmented product at all. It's kind of thin, but I wet my brush and it did just fine. So they're very pigmented. This will stain your eyes. So if you have like these darker shades, they will stain. They'll stain my hand if I swatch it and leave it on there for too long. But beautiful shades. I talk about this palette a lot now just because it is so gosh dang pretty. And the Sienna's palette is the same. They have like a chocolates version. They have so many options, but the ones in these cases are really pretty. This would be just like, if you just need like one palette that's more inexpensive but has more color or warm tones, these are great. I love my Jaclyn Hill palette and I think it's amazing. It's not drugstore obviously, but if you're looking for one that's maybe a little cheaper, this will get the job done. Is this the same quality as Jaclyn Hill? No, but you're also paying like 3 times the price for the Jaclyn Hill one. So, I mean, it's pick your poison, but if you don't wear eyeshadow on an everyday basis and you just need one for once in a while to get it done, good color, and you're not looking for like top-notch, amazing quality, go with these. These are not bad at all. I love them. For mascara, it's kind of tricky because it's a personal preference. I tend to like more of a wet formula, so that's what I'm going to mention today. It's honestly all preference. Right now, I've been loving my Maybelline That Sensational. The reason why I like this one so much is because when it dries, it makes my lashes stay curled. This is very good at curling and lengthening more. And when I paired these two together, my lashes look really good. This one's good for lengthening and volumizing. The Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect. These two paired together are great. This one I noticed will, if you are kind of in the heat or even just if your eyes water, this one will transfer a little bit, especially on my lower lash line. I don't like this for my lower lash line, but if I put this one on and then my Maybelline one on top, it's amazing. This Maybelline one will dry and just stay curled and make my lashes will stay curled all day long. So that's why I love this one, and this one's always been a try and true. I've had it for years and I've loved it for years. So yeah, these are the two that I like. The last category I have to mention are lips, and you guys know I'm not a huge lip product person, but I have a lot to mention today because although I don't love wearing lip products on an everyday basis, I do have favorites that I love to wear when I'm filming, and so on and so forth. Lip liners, I like the Wet n Wild ones, the gel lip liners. They're cheap, they're inexpensive, they are like the twist up ones, so they're easy to use, you don't have to sharpen, and they have a variety of colors. I have the red one and a more burgundy one, and I love them. Now, liquid lipsticks, you guys know I'm not a big liquid lipstick person, but if I do tend to wear one, like I am wearing one today, but I put like a gloss on top, which helps. Ones that I like that are actually a little more moisturizing are the Rimmel Pro Vodka Lips. So it has like the matte lip color and then like a moisturizing topper. It's a really thin liquid lip formula. It's kind of like Lip Sense, but way less drying, and it just feels more moisturizing on the lips, and I like them because it doesn't feel like I'm drying the crap on my lips using these because it's got that moisturizing topper. And these ones are inexpensive as well. The Milani Amore Matte Lip Creams are good. This is what I have on today. If you want a mattifying liquid lipstick, this is a great one. Smells like cupcakes. I love it. This is a drying formula. This will dry your lips, but if I put a gloss on like I did today, I'm fine. And yeah, so I do like this one. The Physicians Formula, the Healthy Lip. This is another good one. I have the shade Dose of Rose. This is a more brighter pink. I like the doe foot applicator on this one. It's got like a hole in the middle and it's like really creamy and whipped almost. These ones I think might be a little bit more moisturizing than the Milani ones, but the packaging is beautiful, by the way. But I do really like the Physicians Formula one as well. Wet n Wild has good ones. Those ones are super drying, and I got rid of all of my Wet n Wild ones, I believe, because they just weren't really my cup of tea, and they felt a lot more drying to me. I don't know why, but I don't, they're good if you have a shade that you like. I'm not a huge liquid lipstick person, so those are the couple that I would go for, but other than that, I don't really go for them. I like more lip glosses or creams. The Loreal Infallible Lip Paints are amazing. They're like a cream formula. They're very pretty. They're not gonna last all day, but they are a more not moisturizing, but they're not gonna like dry down matte or anything. And I wear this one a lot. This was in Spicy Blush. I really like this product. Also, the Revlon Kiss Plumping Lip Cream. I love this. It does kind of give you just the slightest bit of a tingly, minty feeling. Not even tingly, just more of like a cooling, minty feeling, but not very much at all. Sometimes I notice it, sometimes I don't even notice it. This one's in the shade Barely Blush. I like it because it's like a squeezy tube and it's easy to squeeze out. And I love this. I use this all the time. If I just want like a thin, this one's more thin. The L'Oreal is a little more pigmented. This one's a lot more thin, but I really like this one as well. And then a lip gloss is the e.l.f. Tinted Lip Oil in Nude Kiss. I have it on today. This is one of my favorite glosses ever. It's thin, but it's a tinted lip oil. It's thin, but it looks really pretty and little bit glossy, really inexpensive, pretty packaging. And yes, I really like these. I want to compare this to the plumping ones though. I've never tried the plumping ones, but this is really inexpensive too. I don't have a setting spray from the Drugstore that I absolutely love. I do like my Morphe one, but you know, Morphe, I don't know if you consider it drugstore, and yeah, so I don't really have one, but the Morphe one I do like. It's back there. It's 16 bucks, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I know it was so long. If you stayed till the end, let me know down in the comments. I love whoever stayed to the end. I mean, I love anybody who watches my videos, but you guys are true troopers if you stayed to the end. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. If you are still here and you haven't subscribed, I hope you will stick around. I will link down below all the other drugstore videos that I have done. Drugstore guides. I have done so many drugstore videos, that would be insane, but drugstore makeup guides. And I need to stop talking. I have been filming this video for so long and I'm shaking and I had coffee and I need to go eat something, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.